Hey guys, so this is AP World History Chapter 1, Before History. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the hominids, particularly Australopithecus. So what you really need to know is that Australopithecus, Homo erectus, Homo sapien, all those three that you read about, the Neanderthals even, they're all a part of the hominid family. And the first one was Australopithecus. So this is what he looked like. Again, he was a hominid. He was able to walk upright. He wasn't, very sophisticated to say anything more about him, but similar to us in that he was able to walk upright. There was the opposable thumbs that were similar to us as well. He could communicate verbally, but a lot of the communication that was happening was mainly through grunts. Another thing that is similar to us was that they traveled deliberately, meaning that there was purpose to their traveling. They weren't just roaming around everywhere. These are some of the tools that were used by the Australopithecus. Again, you can see very primitive, but it got the job done. Next, we're going to talk about Homo erectus. So Homo erectus is different in that he is fully erect, standing upright, whereas Australopithecus was probably kind of hunched over. Homo erectus is different in that he was calling or being called an upright walking human. He also had sophisticated tools. You can see it's not just like the scrapers over here, but you also have like a longer kind of javelin kind of thing to throw. In addition to that, they created fires, Homo erectus. And remember, the fire is being used for multiple purposes. Just think of all the ways that you can use a fire. A lot of us think of it that it's simply for warmth, but they used it not only for warmth, but to cook food. In addition to that, they also use it as defense from the animals, but they could also use it as a way to attack animals as well. Homo erectus was also able to communicate complex ideas. So, if they had a game plan to attack an animal, they could communicate their plan better with each other than they would if they were an Australopithecus. And also, just keep in mind, Australopithecus came before Homo erectus, but it didn't come. It wasn't like, oh, okay, 100 years later, here's Homo erectus. It was more like millions of years later comes Homo erectus. Migrations of Homo erectus. So you need to know that they migrated out of Africa into the Asian areas and part of Europe. And it just kind of showed that they were in control of their environment. The fact that they could move from place to place showed that they did have intelligence, and that intelligence led them to adapt to different places. So again, they migrated to North Africa, Eurasian lands. They also were going to move west, east, southeast, and South Asia, like you can see in the map there. So after Homo erectus, we see the Homo sapiens. And this is us, guys. This is who we are. We are the Homo sapiens. In terms of language, language will become more evolved. Where you had grunts before, now you have probably maybe some small words that they can understand. You have a more developed vocal cord. And the mouth, you begin to see a better mouth cavity with the tongue. So you see this image here, and it starts with the Australopithecus. This is probably how he looked. Homo erectus right here in the center, and then the Homo sapien. So you got to think, we're all hominids here, but these are like versions of us. So where Australopithecus might have been version 1, then Homo erectus is maybe version 1.2, then we could possibly be like version 1.5. So don't think that just because you see a huge development here, there's a significant difference, because there's actually not. So for migrations of Homo sapiens, you really need to understand that the migrations took them everywhere around the world. And this is known as the out of Africa theory, where they come out of Africa and they pretty much populate the entire globe, the entire region. And that's because they're adaptable. They're adaptable to different kinds of environments. And so they go into places like Africa, Europe, and Asia. In addition, they're able to cross into North America because of these ice bridges that you see right here. These ice bridges allow them to cross into parts of the world that they would have otherwise not been able to move into. So again, just remember, there's no other animal or planet, I'm sorry, not planet, plant that has made it to all habitable parts of the world, meaning that no other species can do this. Homo sapiens are the only ones that can move to all habitable places of the world. The only way plants or animals get into other places that they don't belong to is because people take them there. So again, just keep in mind the map. This is the out of Africa map, early human migration about 10,000 years ago. So Homo sapiens, they're going to use their intelligence, their tools, and everything to get themselves to all these different parts of the world.